Lion Creek Lions. So today we are just going to be doing a one-day project, and by now you've watched the videos for this, going on to our virtual art classroom and looking at some videos of Zentangles being made, which are using different shapes and lines to create patterns. Maybe you've looked a little more on YouTube and found some other videos. To begin a Zentangle, you want to start with a shape. So this is going to be on the virtual classroom too, some ideas for leaf outlines. And you could either do leaves or you could do another type of plant from nature. You could do flowers, you could do a tree, you could do a branch, you could do anything from nature to begin. Now you guys are gonna start with pencil. As I've done in the past, I'm gonna use Sharpie so that you can see what I'm drawing on our video. When you begin, you do want to move slow. So even using my Sharpie here, I'm using sketch lines to start the shape of my leaf. And I'm trying to make it as big as I can to where it all fits on this paper, but that it fills and takes up most of the page. And then I would close it off with that stem. Having it join and touch, and then wiggling into the vein of the leaf. Eventually, those two lines will meet and come to a point. I'm not going to add the other parts of the vein yet because I'm going to use patterns within this space. I do have a little bit of room over here though, so I could add another leaf. I'm going to make a more wobbly one. Instead of with the sharp points, this one's going to have more curved edges. And again, I'm going to add the vein. Now I could have the other parts of the leaf break it down into those smaller spaces that you want to start with before you create patterns. So just going from these inside points and connecting down. Or I could just make something up, kind of like a string line, wobbling throughout that space to create smaller spots. Creating closed small spaces. Now I can start with my patterns. And again, you guys don't have to do the exact same thing as me. This video is to more give you some ideas for your own artwork, but I want you to add some of your own patterns as well. So even just with circles or any shape, there's a lot of different ways you could do it. Like I could add overlapping circles that overlap until they fill that space. Maybe some of them you're just seeing the semicircle or part of it. I could do a space where the circles start small. Maybe I can do some dots to begin. And then I'm gonna do circles around the dots, and then just pick ones to keep building on. And eventually they will connect and touch. So that circle, you might just see part of it. Same with this one. As they get closer and closer, not seeing the full circle. Picking which lines I repeat until that space is filled. You could also use more than one shape in a space. Like I could do circles again, maybe moving away from that zone. Maybe mixing in some ovals too. Semicircles, half circles. Some little ones. And then I could pick a new shape to add inside. Like maybe I could do diamonds. And in these half circles, maybe you're just seeing half the diamonds. You could also use line to create patterns. So I could do zigzags. And then maybe I repeat. Maybe moving a little further away and repeating some of those stripes again. And then maybe just doing some dots. Just making it up as I go, kind of like the doodle project. You can just make it up as you go, creating new shapes and patterns by just combining different lines and different shapes together. You could also do organic shapes. So those are the ones that are more loose and free. It almost kind of looks like a paint splatter there. And then I could add some stripes. Maybe just adding that into a couple of them, adding wiggly wobbly lines to some of the shapes that are there too. That space is full. I could add bumpy lines in a different way. There's no end or limit to types of patterns. It's endless. You can always create something new. You can never run out of patterns. Always different shapes and lines or different ways to combine them. Maybe in one space, I could even just repeat the shape of that space, moving a little bit away and repeating. Maybe even fit one more little skinny line in, making sure not to touch my other lines. I could add squares and rectangles, kind of like I did in one of those circle spaces. Maybe they could overlap or they could go from top to bottom. I had someone one year call this a starburst pattern, where you do these stripes and then just switch the direction of them. So going straight up and down, or side to side, diagonal, until my space is all full. I could even do that in another space, maybe moving it to a new leaf. Just switching the direction that I'm making my stripes. You could do hearts in a space. And again, I could add into my hearts. It doesn't just have to be one pattern or shape. I could add bumps into my big heart, maybe some of those little ones too. And then again, we just use those kind of dots to fill my space in a little more. Like I said, patterns are endless. There's no limit to how many that you can come up with. Like maybe I have some zigzags, little zigzags going all the way around the space, turning with the space. Almost kind of looks like teeth. It's a sharp spot. And then I could even fill in the space between, making little diamonds. I just want to go until my space is all filled. I have patterns in every spot. Ooh, one line I haven't done at all yet too is castle lines. kind of like the top of a castle. Or one on a video that I've seen that's pretty cool is when you just start skinny, go up and out. Start skinny, go out. Making all these triangles until there's no room left. I could do some more organic shapes, wiggling and filling that space with some bumpy lines. Maybe this one is another repeating the shape of the space. Or adding more triangles. Maybe adding lines inside, filling some in. Or creating smaller spaces that are filled in between. Fill them all in. I could do ovals that go in a row, getting bigger with a space. Or I could just do some cross hatching. Until my space is completely full. The very last space I have is right over here. Let me try and think of a pattern I have not done yet. I could combine types of line, doing the zigzag and the castle. Until that space is full. Then I probably just want to sign my name. You guys will take a photo, submit it, whatever your artwork is, whatever outline you chose, whether it was a leaf or a tree or a flower, anything from nature, and then filling it in with all those different patterns, making up some of your own, or even just filling in some spaces to make dark and light areas. Make spots pop out a little more when they're filled in. Like where those circles overlap with each other, I could fill in. Until I have no room left. Now I'm all done. You guys go ahead and make your own. Hope you have a great day.